The $36 cheeseburger that just ended the GOP's honeymoon, did you feel that? That wasn't just a political tremor on Tuesday. It was an earthquake. It was a blue sweep so thorough and so sudden that it has left the Republican Party, just 10 months into President Trump's second term, completely reeling. If you're waking up wondering what on earth just happened, you're not alone. The GOP woke up Wednesday morning, looked at the electoral map, and, in the words of Senator Ted Cruz, realized they were staring at a disaster. So, what went wrong? How did the narrative flip so fast? Of all people, it was political commentator Bill O'Reilly, sitting across from Bill Maher, who may have just given the most relatable and terrifying diagnosis for the GOP. It's not complicated. It's not some 5D chess. People are angry. I can buy the cow for $36. Appearing on Real Time Friday, O'Reilly cut through all the complex political spin with a story that will ring true to every single person who has bought groceries, filled up their tank, or just tried to live their life in the last year. Maher suggested that maybe Americans are just tired and want more normal leaders. O'Reilly shook his head. He argued the problem isn't about normal, it's about promises. Specifically, it's about promises made by President Trump to fix the one thing that impacts everyone, every single day, the cost of living. The reason that Democrats won is people are angry, the former Fox News host stated flatly. They are angry, and not just in the 3 states and in New York City. Where is this anger coming from? They are angry because there were promises made by President Trump to lower food prices and gas prices. And then, he dropped the line that will define this entire election cycle. O'Reilly, talking about a recent trip to Los Angeles, said that at the place I'm staying in, a simple cheeseburger cost $36. Let that sink in. The audience gasped, then applauded when he delivered the punchline, I can buy the cow for $36. This isn't just a funny line, it's everything. It's the symbol of the crushing affordability crisis that has become the single biggest vulnerability for the Trump administration. It's the moment every American has had at the grocery store, looking at the price of eggs or milk and feeling a cold pit of dread. It's the frustration of working harder than ever just to feel like you're falling behind. When you're working for a living and you have to pay these high prices in the grocery store, you're not happy, O'Reilly said. And excuses walk. This is the part that should terrify the White House. O'Reilly was issuing a direct warning, invoking history. When you're not happy, the incumbency loses every time, going all the way back to former President John Adams. And on Tuesday, the incumbents, the party in power, the GOP, lost. Big time. The blue tsunami, a complete blowout. Just how bad was it? Let's run the tape. Virginia, this wasn't supposed to be a blowout. But former Rep. Abigail Spanberger, T., didn't just win the governorship, she ran away with it, flipping suburban districts that were supposed to be safe. New Jersey, in what was meant to be a competitive race, Rep. Mickey Sherrill, D., secured the governor's mansion, proving the Democratic message on affordability and stability was cutting through. New York City, this one was personal. In a stunning race for mayor, progressive Zoran Mamdani, D., defeated former New York Gov. Andrew Cuomo. But Cuomo wasn't just running as an independent. He was running with the full-throated, May-Geo world backing of President Trump. This wasn't just a loss, it was a humiliation. It was a rejection of the Trump-Cuomo alliance in Trump's own backyard. California. On the West Coast, voters didn't just elect Democrats, they voted to cement their power. They overwhelmingly passed Proposition 50, a measure that gives the state the power to redraw the House map in a way that favors Democrats. This wasn't just policy, it was a direct, tactical nuclear strike against Trump's own redistricting campaigns in red states. The message was so clear that Democrats could barely contain their glee. Democrats have all of the momentum in the world, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, DNY, declared on Wednesday. Republicans woke up this morning and realized that they are no longer in a 2024 electoral environment. That's over, and they're done. 2 explanations for a disaster. Inside the GOP, it's not glee. It's pure panic. Senator Ted Cruz, our Texas, never one to mince words, called the outcome a disaster and an electoral blowout on Fox News. Vice President Vance, looking ahead to the 2026 midterms, seems to be the one person who gets O'Reilly's warning. He stated that Republicans must refocus and find a way to address the rising costs that are crushing American families if they want to have any chance of winning back momentum. But here is the central, terrifying conflict for the Republican Party. President Trump doesn't agree. The president has completely rejected the affordability argument. He's not blaming the $36 cheeseburger. So, what is he blaming? The government shutdown. Trump has blamed the GOP's massive losses on the ongoing government shutdown, which at 39 days is now the longest in U.S. history. He's arguing that the lapse in federal funding, a stalemate he is deeply involved in, is what made voters angry. Last night, it was not expected to be a victory. It was very Democrat areas, Trump told Republican senators, seemingly dismissing the losses in swing states like Virginia. I don't think it was good for Republicans. He added, I'm not sure it was good for anybody, but we had an interesting evening, and we learned a lot. The question is, what did they learn? Right now, the GOP is split down the middle. You have the O'Reilly/Vance camp, which is looking at the receipts from the grocery store and screaming, it's the economy, stupid. They believe that unless they fix the pain in people's wallets, they are doomed. And then you have the Trump camp, which believes the problem is the process, the shutdown, the Democrat areas, the bad PR, and not the promise. This is more than a disagreement. It's a full-blown identity crisis. The 2025 election wasn't just a loss for the GOP. It was a referendum. Voters, crushed by prices, walked into the voting booth and did exactly what O'Reilly said they would. They fired the incumbent party. The 2026 midterms are no longer a distant dream. They are a battlefield that just opened up, and the first shot was fired over a $36 cheeseburger.